They say the back rooms begin with a mistake, a misstep, a wrong angle, a glitch in the corner of your vision that you accidentally fall through. For me, it was just the office stairwell. I was carrying a box of old binders down to the archive. Halfway between floors, a fluorescent light flickered overhead. I stepped down, expecting concrete. Instead, my foot hit carpet, soggy carpet, and the stairwell behind me was gone. I stood in a massive yellow room, walls stained with watermarks, buzzing lights stretching on forever. The smell hit me first. Mold, dust, and something else I couldn't place. Something warm, something alive. I spun around, expecting the door back to the stairwell, but there was nothing there. Just more yellow, more hum. The hum pressed against me, not loud but constant, like something breathing just beneath the sound. I walked for what felt like an hour. The rooms were identical, walls that didn't line up, corners bending in impossible ways, ceilings dipping low at random. Every so often, a dark stain spread across the carpet like something had seeped upward instead of down. I kept calling out, but no one answered. Each shout made the hum shift, just slightly, almost like it was paying attention, almost like it was adjusting itself to me. Eventually, I found a hallway that felt different. The lights buzzed softer. The carpet wasn't as wet. For the first time, I felt like I might be getting closer to something human. That's when I heard footsteps. Slow, steady, too heavy to be mine. I froze. The steps stopped. When I moved, they moved. They weren't following me. They were mirroring me, repeating each sound a moment after I made it. As if learning how to walk, I backed up. The steps backed up. I stepped forward once, testing it. The answering step was delayed by a fraction of a second, just long enough to feel wrong. Then it took one more step, one I didn't take. The hum sharpened, almost excited. A tall shadow stretched across the carpet from behind the corner. I didn't look to see what cast it. I ran, turning blindly through the endless yellow maze as the hum rose to a piercing whine. The footsteps broke into a sprint behind me. I didn't dare look. The walls blurred past, corners twisting faster than they should. The hum vibrated through my teeth, rising until it felt like the whole place was collapsing inward. And then, silence. I was back in the stairwell. The binders were scattered on the steps. The light above me was steady, everything normal. Except the hum. I still hear it now, late at night, hiding under the quiet. I thought escaping level 0 meant I was safe, but the hum never left. One night, it pulsed. 3 slow vibrations under the silence, and the next blink of my eyes dropped me onto cold concrete. Level 1. The lights here were dimmer, flickering in long industrial corridors lined with metal doors. Some were dented inward, as if something had tried to break out. Others were scratched, as if something had tried to get in. The air tasted metallic, recycled, stale. Far ahead, machinery rumbled like distant thunder. I walked carefully, listening. Level 1 didn't echo correctly. Footsteps stretched too long, bouncing down corridors I hadn't entered. Every so often, a door creaked softly on its hinges, though no breeze existed. I passed one, cracked open. Inside was only darkness, except for a faint grinding sound, like gears turning very slowly. A glowing exit sign flickered at the far end of a hallway. I moved toward it, relief almost overwhelming, until I realized the letters were backwards, mirrored as if viewed from behind glass. The sign snapped off. The corridor plunged into deeper shadow. Then I heard it. Metal footsteps, heavy and rhythmic, coming from multiple directions at once. Level 1 wasn't mirroring me like levels. It was tracking me, coordinating. I ducked through a maintenance door, entering a stairwell that spiraled down endlessly. The hum from level 0 vibrated faintly beneath the pounding metal footsteps above. The stairs creaked, shifting under my weight like they weren't firmly attached. After what felt like minutes or hours, a landing appeared with a rusted door labeled B12. The handle was warm, too warm. When I pushed it open, the air burst out hot and dry. Level 2 felt like stepping into the breath of a furnace. Long industrial tunnels stretched in every direction, pipes crawling along the ceiling like exposed veins. Some dripped boiling water that hissed when it hit the floor. The overhead lights were few and far between, leaving long, jagged stretches of darkness. The hum from level 0 was here too, quieter now, as if muffled behind the metal walls, but still pulsing steadily. The heat made the air shimmer. Every breath tasted like burnt dust. Far ahead, a pipe released a steady metallic groan, the kind that made your ribs vibrate. I followed the sound, hoping it led somewhere, anywhere, but the tunnels didn't stay the same. Corners shifted, straight paths curved. I'd check behind me and see a completely different hallway than the one I'd come from. Level 2 wasn't a maze, it was moving. Eventually, I found a door marked Authorized Staff Only. The paint was peeling, the sign bent as if crushed in someone's hand. I hesitated. Behind the door, something scraped. Slow, deliberate, metal dragging across metal. But when I backed away, the hallway bent subtly, funneling me toward it. The heat intensified. The hum thickened. I realized the level wanted me to open the door, or it wanted something on the other side to reach me. Before I could decide, a distant alarm blared through the tunnels. Short, stuttering beeps like an old smoke detector dying. The scraping behind the door stopped, completely. Then came a low thud, as if something huge leaned against the metal from the other side. I ran, the tunnels twisted with me, but for once, they seemed to guide rather than trap. A grated walkway appeared, sloping down into cooler air. Level 3 was waiting. Level 3 hit me with a sharp chemical smell the moment I stepped out of the sloping walkway. Rows of metal catwalks stretched through a vast chamber filled with humming generators, each one draped in cables that swayed slightly as if breathing. The light here was dim and blue-white, flickering like old CRT screens. Every hum echoed differently, layered, almost forming patterns, like the machines were whispering to each other. The temperature was cooler, but the air felt charged, as if every breath carried static. Sparks occasionally snapped along the rails, bright and silent. Far below the metal grating, I heard turbocines spinning. Slow, powerful, steady. I followed a narrow catwalk, one hand on the railing. It vibrated faintly beneath my palm. The generators weren't just running, they were alert. They thrummed faster whenever I passed, as if sensing me. A maintenance corridor branched off to the left, lined with fuse boxes and breaker panels. Several were open, wires spilling out like exposed nerves. The lights above the corridor flickered erratically, casting long, stuttering shadows. As I walked deeper, the hum from level 0 threaded itself through the mechanical noise, louder than before. It wasn't beneath the levels anymore. It was here, woven into the circuitry, the walls, the air. I reached a door marked Control Room, the lettering stenciled but warped as though heat had once melted part of it. Inside, monitors buzzed with static, occasionally flashing images too fast to identify. Rooms, hallways, angles that looked familiar but wrong. One screen showed a yellow room, level 0. But something moved just out of frame, tall enough to cast a shadow that stretched across the carpet. The shadow leaned toward the camera. The monitor flickered again. This time, the camera feed shifted to a live hallway, level 3's catwalks, shot from an impossible angle above me. I looked up. No camera, no lens, just metal beams and darkness. Yet the screen showed me standing exactly where I was. Then a second figure entered the frame behind me. Tall, blurred, its limbs too long. The hum surged, drowning out the generators. The figure turned its head toward the camera and toward me. I bolted from the control room, metal grating clanging beneath my feet. The hum rose into a sharp electric whine. The creature's steps, heavy, metallic, deliberate, followed close behind. The catwalk shook with every impact. I saw a maintenance hatch ahead, partly open, glowing with soft amber light. Without thinking, I dove through it. The hatch slammed shut by itself, locking with a sound like a ceiling vault. The hum quieted. Everything went still. The room I landed in was small, an office, but distorted. Filing cabinets melted into the walls, drawers shifting like restless sleepers. A desk sat in the center, covered in papers stamped with looping glyphs I couldn't read. On the desk lay a single object, a red fire alarm. Above it, someone had written in shaky marker, "Pull to exit." It was absurd, childish, but the hum pulsed once, gently, as if urging me. I hesitated, then I pulled. The alarm didn't ring. Instead, the room folded inward like collapsing fabric. Walls peeled away into blurs of yellow, gray, red, and black. Every level flickered past. Level 0's stained walls, Level 1's doors, Level 2's burning tunnels, Level 3's catwalks, all merging, all unraveling. The hum filled everything, resonating inside my skull. I felt myself slipping through layers I'd never seen, never meant to see. Then, soft carpet beneath my feet. I was back in Level 0, the same yellow walls, the same buzzing lights. But something was different. The air felt hollow, empty, like the level had been abandoned. The hum was gone. Utter silence pressed around me. Then I noticed the shadow, my shadow, stretched long across the carpet, moving slightly out of sync with my body. It straightened itself, standing independent, tall and thin. It raised an arm toward me as if offering a hand. I took a step back. The shadow followed, not mirroring, approaching. The silence deepened, swallowing breath, heartbeat, thought. When it stood inches from me, it leaned close, its shape flickering like bad film. And then, in a voice that wasn't a voice at all, it whispered inside my mind, "You didn't escape. You only changed places." The lights snapped off. Darkness swallowed everything. And in the black, something warm reached for my arm.